You've reached a turning point, not just in how you see her, but in how you see yourself. Because the truth is, recognizing these signs isn't just about knowing whether she's into you. It's about awakening something deeper within you, the belief that you are worthy of love, connection, and real emotional intimacy. And now, everything has changed. You no longer need to question her energy. You don't have to wonder if you're imagining things or reading too much into small moments. The signs are clear. The signals are real. And the only thing left to do is respond. Because here's the reality. Life doesn't wait for perfect timing. It rewards those who create their own momentum, who choose courage over hesitation, who step forward even when they can't see the entire path ahead. And that's exactly what you're being called to do now. Not wait, not overthink, not retreat into silence. No, you're being called to act, to speak up, to show her that you see her, that you feel this connection too, that you're ready to meet it with honesty, strength, and purpose. Because the most powerful relationships aren't built on grand gestures or elaborate plans. They're built on moments like this, when two people recognize the energy between them and choose to honor it. That's what makes this moment so important. It's not just about attraction, it's about alignment, about stepping into something greater than yourself, about recognizing that what you're feeling isn't random, it's meaningful, and it deserves to be acknowledged. So ask yourself, who do you want to be in this moment? The man who hesitates. Who lets fear convince him that silence is safer than action? Who walks away wondering what could have been? Or the man who steps forward? Who chooses courage even when uncertainty lingers? Who speaks up not because he's fearless, but because he refuses to let fear decide his future? Because here's something most people won't tell you. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of it. It's choosing to move forward even when your heart is pounding and your mind is racing with doubt. And that kind of courage, that raw, unfiltered bravery, is what separates those who live fully from those who merely exist. Because life doesn't reward those who wait for perfect conditions. Life rewards those who take imperfect action, who choose to try even when they're unsure, who understand that growth happens in the moments when they stretch beyond their comfort zone. And right now, you're standing at the edge of one of those moments. This is your chance to break free from the cycle of doubt, to stop questioning whether she's interested, to stop second-guessing what your instincts already know. Because you've done the work, you've learned how to read the signals, you've recognized the signs, and now you have a choice to let that awareness sit unused, or to let it fuel something greater, something real. Because here's the reality. Love rarely arrives with a script. It doesn't knock politely on your door with clear instructions. More often than not, it shows up quietly, disguised as opportunity, waiting for someone brave enough to reach out and claim it. And if you don't respond, if you let this moment pass without action, you may never get it back. Not every connection lasts forever. Not every opportunity leads to a fairy tale ending. But every time you choose courage over fear, you grow. Every time you step forward despite doubt, you become stronger. Every time you honor what your heart already knows, you prove to yourself that you are worthy of love, connection, and deep emotional intimacy. And that's what this is about. Not just pursuing someone who might be the right person for you, but becoming the right person for yourself. Because real confidence doesn't come from external validation. It comes from knowing who you are, from trusting your instincts, from believing in your worth, regardless of anyone else's response. And once you stand in that truth, nothing can shake you. Rejection doesn't define you. Doubt doesn't control you. Fear doesn't limit you. Because you've already made the most important decision. You've chosen to see, to understand, to believe in what your instincts have been telling you all along. And now you choose to act, not perfectly, not flawlessly, not with guarantees, but with honesty, with strength, with the kind of presence that says, I see you, I feel this connection too, and I'm ready to meet it head on. Because that's the kind of energy that builds real relationships, not games, not tricks, or not waiting for the perfect moment, just raw, grounded, fearless action. And when you choose to move forward with that kind of clarity, everything changes. You'll never again wonder if she was interested. You'll never question whether you missed your chance. You'll never look back with regret, because you'll know you showed up fully, honestly, completely. And that's the kind of courage that changes lives. So breathe deep. Let go of the need for perfection. Understand that the most powerful moves in life aren't flawless, they're fearless. And you don't need to be perfect to make this work. You just need to be real, honest, present. Because she didn't fall for your highlight reel. She fell for the parts of you that no one else sees, the kindness, the strength, the quiet confidence that makes you who you are. And if you give that to her, if you let her see all of you, then you'll finally know what it feels like to be loved for exactly who you are. This is your moment. Not someday, not maybe, not later, right now. Because the woman who's giving you these signs is waiting, not for someone perfect, but for someone real, someone who sees her, values her, and chooses her without hesitation. And that's someone, that's you. So don't hold back. Don't question it. Don't let fear steal what your heart already knows. Step forward. Speak up. Show her that you see her too. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply say yes to love, to connection, to the person who's already showing you they care. And once you do, everything changes forever. You've already begun to see the truth, not just with your eyes, but with your heart. You've learned how to recognize the quiet signals she sends, the lingering eye contact, the subtle mirroring, the way she remembers what matters to you. These aren't random gestures, they're messages. And now that you can read them, something inside you is beginning to shift. That shift, it's confidence. Not the kind that comes from bravado or ego, but the deep, unshakable knowing that you are worthy of love, connection, and real emotional intimacy. And when you carry that belief in yourself, everything changes. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you look at her, it all starts to reflect the truth that you finally understand. If she's showing these signs, it means something powerful is already happening between you. But understanding isn't enough. Recognition alone won't change your life, because the moment you realize she's into you is the exact moment you must decide what you're going to do with that knowledge. Will you let fear hold you back? Will you step forward with courage, clarity, and purpose? Because here's the reality. Opportunity doesn't wait forever. Love rarely arrives with a script or perfect timing. More often than not, it appears in the spaces between ordinary moments, disguised as chance, waiting for someone brave enough to reach out and claim it. And that someone, that's you. So ask yourself, why would she choose to be near you if she didn't feel something? Why would her eyes stay on yours longer than necessary? Why would she remember the details no one else does unless they mattered to her? These are not idle gestures. They are invitations, quiet, subtle, but undeniably real. Now imagine stepping into that invitation, not with desperation, not with uncertainty, but with strength, with the kind of presence that says, I see you, I feel this connection too. And I'm not afraid to move closer. That's the energy that draws people in. That's the mindset that builds real relationships. Not games, not tricks, just raw, honest, grounded confidence. And the best part, you don't need permission to have it. You don't need validation to deserve it. You already have everything inside you right now to respond exactly as you should. Because attraction is a dance, and the most powerful moves come not from trying too hard, but from standing in your own truth, from letting your energy match hers, from allowing yourself to be fully present, fully open, fully ready. Let me tell you something most people won't. Real connection doesn't come from chasing. It comes from matching her energy, her presence, her openness. When you mirror her confidence with your own, something shifts. Something magnetic happens between two souls who are finally aligned. And once that alignment takes place, the rest flows naturally. Conversation deepens, laughter becomes easier. Silence feels comfortable. You stop questioning whether she likes you because you can feel it in every interaction. That's what happens when you stop doubting and start trusting. When you stop overthinking and start living in the moment. Because the truth has been there all along. You just needed to learn how to see it. And now you do. So take a breath. Let go of the fear. Let go of the hesitation. Because you've already done the hardest part. You've opened your eyes. You've awakened your awareness. And now the only thing left to do is act. Act with courage. Act with clarity. Act like the man who finally sees what's in front of him and chooses to embrace it without hesitation. Because this is your moment. This is your opportunity. And if you respond the right way, everything could change. You deserve to know where you stand. You deserve to be seen for who you truly are. And if she's showing even 3 of these signs, then the answer is already clear. She's into you. Not maybe, not possibly, but definitely. And now that you know, you can't go back to pretending you didn't see it. You can't go back to silence when action is calling your name. So rise up, step forward, speak with honesty, move with intention. Because the woman who's giving you these signs is waiting for someone who sees her, values her, and responds with strength. And that someone is you. This isn't just about attraction anymore. This is about becoming the version of yourself that doesn't hesitate when life offers something meaningful. This is about growing into the man who doesn't miss opportunities. He creates them. Because you were never meant to live in doubt. You were never meant to wonder endlessly if she's interested. No, you were meant to recognize, respond, and receive. And now you finally can. You've come so far. From the first moment you questioned whether she was into you, to now, where you stand with clarity, conviction, and a deep understanding of what's truly unfolding between you, you no longer need to chase certainty. You don't need endless signs or constant reassurance. You've learned how to read energy, presence, and intention, not through guesswork, but through awareness, through instinct, through truth. And that truth is this: if she's showing even one of these signs, it means something powerful is already happening. She's not just being polite. She's not just trying to be friendly. She's not just going through the motions. No, she's leaning in. She's choosing closeness. She's remembering your words, mirroring your movements, lingering in your presence. And every single one of those signals is a quiet invitation, a message sent not through words, but through energy and emotion. Because attraction doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes it whispers. And only those who are truly listening can hear it. That's you. You're listening. You're seeing, you're feeling, and now you're ready to respond. But let me remind you, this isn't just about her, it's about you, about who you're becoming in this process, about the man who refuses to settle for uncertainty, the man who chooses courage over hesitation, the man who trusts his instincts and acts with purpose. Because real men don't wait for life to hand them opportunities. Real men create their own path. They recognize what matters to them, and they pursue it with strength, integrity, and clarity. And you are a real man. You don't need permission to take up space. You don't need guarantees to make a move. You don't need endless reassurance to believe in what you already know. You've already seen the signs. You've already felt the energy shift. You've already recognized that what's unfolding between you is rare, meaningful, and worth fighting for. So why would you walk away now? Why would you let doubt erase everything you've built? Why would you allow fear to dictate the course of your heart? Because that's exactly what happens when we hesitate too long. We give fear more power than it deserves. We let it whisper lies into our minds until we start believing them. She probably doesn't feel the same. I'm reading too much into this. She's just being friendly. But none of those thoughts are based on truth. They're based on insecurity, on the part of us that wants to avoid rejection at all costs, even if it means walking away from something real. And here's what most people won't tell you. Rejection isn't failure. Rejection is feedback. It's information. It's a redirection, not a dead end. Because the only true failure is letting fear stop you before you've even tried. So ask yourself, who do you want to be in this moment? The man who hesitates. Who lets fear convince him that silence is safer than action? Who walks away wondering what could have been? Or the man who steps forward? Who chooses courage even when uncertainty lingers? Who speaks up not because he's fearless, but because he refuses to let fear decide his future. Because once you choose courage, something shifts inside you. You begin to live with intention. You begin to attract what you truly deserve, not because you chase it, but because you align with it. And when you align with what feels right, the universe responds. Opportunities open, doors swing wide. Love finds its way to you, not through luck, but through action. Because the truth is, the people who live the most fulfilling lives aren't the ones who were born lucky. They're the ones who chose to act when others stayed silent, who stepped forward when others held back, who believed in themselves when no one else did,